Hello, my name is Ashanti, and I'm going to be describing my attempt to escape or change my cell phone use. Before beginning this project, it was beneficial to see where I currently stand with my device. Using Apple software, I was able to access real time reports about how much time I spend on my iPhone. My average daily screen time use was 4 hours and 51 minutes, totaling to 34 hours and 1 minute per week. Most of my daily time was spent social networking and entertainment purposes. If you look in the left hand corner, you'll be able to see my weekly breakdown of most used applications. Next, some surveys were able to tell me some possible personality and sleep habit attributes that may be due to my phone use. After completing the profile of mood states, which consisted of descriptions of moods and a response on a 5-point scale, I scored a 64. This would be considered on the lower end, seeing as though the highest I could have scored is a 232. The survey states that scores on the lower end indicate more stable mood profiles. The smartphone compulsion test indicated that my score of 6 out of 15 likely means that I have a problematic or compulsive smartphone use pattern. Lastly, I completed the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. A score of 0 being no difficulty in this area and 21 indicating severe difficulty, I scored a 7. So according to the test, I have little difficulty when it comes to sleep. I somewhat found these results surprising. I didn't think my phone use would be this high. At the same time, it takes me 2 hours to fall asleep, and usually in those 2 hours, I'm on my phone, so I can see where half of that came from. I didn't think I had any compulsive behavior when it came to my phone. I don't jump when I hear a text and ready or eager to answer. And I thought I had a terrible sleep schedule, but according to this, it's not as terrible as I think. I do feel rested all the time. It just takes forever for me to fall asleep. So I stated all those things. Now, how will I disrupt this? Well, it's time to create my plan to disrupt my phone usage. First thing I did was turn off all notifications for each app so I will not be notified of anything except phone calls, any credit apps like Credit Karma or like any credit card use because I feel like that's important. Any homework app that I think I have 2 on my phone currently. I had that still active. Next, I set my downtime from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. At that time, I could not access any app on my phone without having to bypass the screen that you see in the right hand corner. That's a screenshot of my phone where it gives me options once I've reached my time limit. To also get in some physical activity, I started parking further away. In the upper right hand corner, you can see a green dot. That's where I parked, and the red dot is where I walked to. And there's no cutting across any sections there. You have to walk that gray course, and it was not a short walk whatsoever. And during this time, there was no phone use either, so all phone use outside did not occur. So if I were to take a lunch as well, or I usually go outside for my lunches, there was no phone use, and just going back and forth to my car, no phone use either there. Okay, so after I've done all of that, I have my plan set out. What happened? So my average daily screen time use increased from 4 hours to 51 minutes to 5 hours and 12 minutes. My mood states, my PALMS test, increased from 64 to 94, meaning I'm a little less emotionally stable than I was before. My compulsion test decreased by 1 point, and my sleep quality score increased, meaning I had more difficulty sleeping. But I do see a good side to this as well. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, I put stars. So the top star, there was only a 7% increase from the time I spent last week on my device. Second is, even though social networking is still first, reading and education now took up more time during that screen time. Before it was entertainment and other, usually like me searching the web or shopping or something like that. So I thought that was a plus. As well as after reading the Nature Fix, there was a part where they say that walking helps clear the mind, helps you, it can cause a burst of genius, And that walk from my car to work and back and forth really did help me get a game plan before I went into work. It helped me think of what to do. And then on my way from work, going back home, I was able to clear my mind of everything for that day. So, did it work? If you look at the data, no, not really, because I didn't decrease my time. However, I did feel a lot better after this as well. I feel like I didn't use my phone as much. Now, why did my phone usage decrease time-wise? Well, also in the Nature Fix, William states that unplugging isn't realistic. Just taking away your technology isn't going to solve the problem, and it's not going to do anything for you other than make you want that technology more, basically. Next would be more so the cultural aspect to this. Not having my phone from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. really made me want to have my phone and look on social media. See, social networking is still at an all-time high, even with the downtime being there, because this goes to the next bullet point. My self-control was definitely lacking. I mean, the screen will pop up and say, you've exceeded your time limit. What do you want to do next? Either I can ignore it for the day, you can remind me in 15 minutes, and you can remind me in 1 minute, or I can hit cancel and just leave the screen completely and move on. What did I do? I kept hitting 15 minutes every 15 minutes until I was done, and I felt bad. And then I also want to point out my usage changed as well. If you look in the lower left-hand corner, you can see Quizlets now there, a lot more studying. I think that's where my education came from. Kindle, I did a lot more reading, actually downloaded the second Harry Potter. And so, in Safari, so it's high because I look up everything possible on there. So from here, what recommendations do I have and what strategies do I plan to implement after this? Well, definitely I need to become more self-aware. Like I said in the beginning, I didn't think I used my phone that much. Turns out I do, and it actually increased. But that was also a stressful week, so I'm not going to really, take that to heart. But definitely I want to review my screen time more often. That was the first time I reviewed my screen time in quite a while since I think school got out. So being more aware of that may help you kind of set your limitations. Also, understanding the purpose of your phone is definitely an important part of how you're going to use it. I have the iPad from Hiram. I have my own personal mini iPad. I have an Apple Watch, and I have an iPhone. I have all the same applications on all of those devices. So maybe separating each device for a purpose may help me with my screen time. I don't need to look at social media while I'm at work on my phone. I can keep that on my tablet at home and only use that while I'm at home. Next would be definitely taking baby steps or gradual changes. It's not that hard to step away, but it is when it's just all of a sudden. So I reduced my screen time from having it whenever I want to not having it between the hours of 7 p.m. and 10 a.m., which I thought was a very long time. I used to wait staring at my phone at 9:50, is it time yet? That's kind of how I felt. So maybe going in increments and also realizing at what times do you use your phone the most and maybe cut that down. Next, setting a limit on applications. So I turned off all notifications on my phone, which wasn't that bad. I still wanted to go check and see, but at least I didn't think about it until I actually had some free time. Excuse me. When you set limits, you can set limits by category actually. So you can set a limit based off of social media use. You can set a limit on video streaming apps like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, and then you can set a limit on only your games. So going in that direction will help you decrease that time as well, and it will help me decrease that as well. Next, I definitely will have to find something to replace my phone if I feel like I'm being on it too much. So that means developing a hobby. I'm not sure what my hobbies are right now, but as of right now, I just kind of study, do homework. So if I have to replace that, which I kind of did during this disruption project, then it'll just have to be my outlet, would be educational. Physical activity could be another form of replacement. Instead of, if you realize that you're on your phone too much, just put it down and go for a walk, or clear your mind, or do a quick exercise, and do it in bursts like that. And I have this picture here. It says put the phone down because for me, that was the simplest way to do things. If I saw myself going to apps during my downtime and I was pressing the 15 minutes, I would lock my phone, set it in a drawer, or I would set it at the head of my bed and lay the other way just so it just wasn't near me. I didn't feel like I had to be on it just because it was right there, and just relax at that time. It's easier. Sometimes our phones can stress us out. So just putting the phone down and relaxing may help us, well, will decrease your phone usage as well as help you in general. I hope my experience was helpful in some way, shape, or form, and thank you for listening.